Hopecast. It's Brad and STL, and today I'm here with a special guest, Alex Donley of Gioia's Deli.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Dude, thanks for coming. Thanks for the merch. You guys will see me wear it around town. Today, I'm representing the Battlehawks.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's sweet. I like that hoodie. That's cool.
You know,
Yeah, I went to the what was it, the second and last game back in March of 2020.
Oh,
I remember that.
I was there.
You were there too? And
yeah.
That was it was a great experience. I'm glad they're back.
Yeah.
St. Louis needs them.
It's a whole different, like, the thing I love about St. Louis, and we'll dive into it, but it's like I'm around all different kinds of people.
Yeah.
Throughout the week, like, you know, I go to a restaurant, you know, depending on the restaurant, it's a different crowd.
Oh yeah, for
Sporting
sure.
event, different crowd. Concert, different crowd. Like, you know, one day I'll go to a country concert, I'll go to a rap concert. It's like so interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sports.
You get a taste of everybody, you know. You get to see everything. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the guy to call when you want to find something to do, for sure, or follow, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Well,
yeah.
I appreciate you jumping on. I mean, it's like I've been following you, you've been following me, and I feel like a lot of people know about Gioia's. They may not know about you, and if you don't know and you're tuning in from really anywhere in the country or world, let's talk about you. Let's talk about Gioia's Deli.
So I'm Alex Donley. I'm the 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm the fifth owner of Gioia's, fifth generation owner of Gioia's. I grew up in South City my whole life. Me and my wife run it together. I was born into it. My grandmother and my mother bought it from the original owners in 1980. I'm one of the rare people on the hill I'm Irish German. I have no Italian in me. I'm like the guy from The Godfather. What was his name? Tom.
Yeah.
The one the Irish guy that's in the family, because I grew up basically around Italians my whole life. I love the culture, but yeah, we grew up in it, and I'm fifth generation owner. That's all I've known. I've had the same job and the same girlfriend my whole life, and now me and my wife run it together. It's great. So.
And you guys are high school sweethearts?
We are. We both grew up. We're actually neighbors. So we grew up in South City. Macklin and Winona is where I grew up. Back then, it was like, what parish are you from? I was from St. Mary Magdalene's Parish. And my youngest daughter's name is Winona, after the street we grew up on. So we were best buds. Then all of a sudden, best buds turned into dating, and now we've been married. We've been married 14 years. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's I don't really come across people nowadays that married their high school sweetheart.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
And that's like my wife and I.
It's a rare breed. Oh, you guys are high school sweethearts?
High school sweethearts.
Oh, right on.
I think we broke up one time for like 10 minutes.
We did too. Yeah.
And then it was just like we laughed at it, and then we just.
Yeah, it's weird. It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we found our people, you know. And so somebody asked me, he's like, hi. I'm like, the best thing that ever happened to me was that I was born to run Gioia's. I was born to parents that own Gioia's, and and my wife moved in next door to me. It's the best thing. It's the greatest. It's so easy.
And it's like people will ask you for advice, and you're just like, I've lived a whole different life, but like you like start saying, okay, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, because sometimes people in relationships are like, oh no, you got to do this, and I'm more of like, compromise. You know, what are your goals? So it's like that's all I can say, because I'm like, me trying to give you relationship advice is like a billionaire trying to tell me to stop buying avocado toast or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like
it's a different. Yeah, I mean, marry the love of your life and fall in love with her when you're 14. Oh, that's not possible for most. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why it works. It just does.
Yeah,
you know, it is.
And then like you watch each other grow, and it's cool. Like,
yeah, we never competed. Like, we just she won student council president at her high school. Like, that was awesome. Like, I was there to support her, helped her run her campaign. I'm not saying like, oh, look how good she's doing. It's a reflection on how bad I'm doing. No, like, you know what I mean?
Biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she goes to law school, and I'm like, I'm not going to be like intimidated by that because I'm making sandwiches for a living. No, I'm like, that's great. Do that. Like, good job. You know. Yeah. We're cheerleader. We're each other's best friends. You know. I'm sure that's the same with you guys.
Yeah, and it's like with what I do, it's I try to like make sure to keep it separate. So like people know like, hey, I'm married, but it's like keep her out of what I do.
Absolutely.
But she's always there for, hey, I was on a date, or this is, she's there.
Yeah, cool. That's great. I like to hear that. That's cool.
So Gioia's, is it 104 years old?
We are 1918, so this is our 106th year in business. And it's a really cool story. So like the Charlie Gioia, the original owner, Charlie Gioia, he came over from Italy. He's from northern Italy. And in the further north you go, the more it becomes more about the sausage, you know. And so because you're going north, for example, Germany, it's sausage, and the further south you go, it becomes more cured meats, you know. So we're from, so he came over and he had his fresh sausage recipes, and one of those recipes was the salami di testa, hot salami, and he moved to the hill and in 1918 and built Gioia's Deli. The location that we are at was built by Charlie Gioia, and it's wood and brick from the 1904 World's Fair. So we were talking about the area, but the Highlands, where Forest Park is, that was where all the food was in the World's Fair, and that's literally you go at Macklin and that ends into the Highlands,
right?
You know, so all that brick and wood got torn down in around the 1918 late 1900s, and that all got, after World War I, all got brought to the hill, and people bought it. So all that wood and brick was built to make Gioia's.
Interesting.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Like nowadays, everyone has to like preach sustainability, but like literally, that's what they were doing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
recycled.
It's an immigrant neighborhood. Like all those houses, like it's all built from. Back now it's awesome stuff, but back then it's considered cheap because it was recycled goods. And that's what that neighborhood was built. It's an immigrant community, and it was, you know, cheap, affordable, quick to build housing that's still standing today because it was cheap housing back then. It's still great housing, you know, because it's craftsmen's building it, you know.
And it's a very it's like probably the most, I don't know if I would compare it to anyone else, but it's the most self-sustaining neighborhood for generations. Like literally, like, do you guys make your own bread, or do you have someone else that does like, how do you guys
do it? It's a hill person. It's the Vitale's make Pete Vitale makes my bread. He is 3 blocks away. You know what I mean? Like everything we source, Volpe, anything that we don't make, Volpe makes. You know where Volpe is?
Yep.
It's on Daggett. It's 1 block away. I mean, the world could blow up and the hill would be fine because we can just self-sustain. You know, it's like you said, it's the most self-sustaining neighborhood. You know, I mean, we literally, the guys like Marconi, which is all the table bread you see everywhere, he's delivering that product still. And it's on Marconi. Like, it's just crazy. It's bonkers. This neighborhood doesn't exist anywhere else. No. In America, at least, in my opinion. At least I can't find anything.
Well, and it's like you're like an actual walkable part of town too.
Yeah.
Like I hear, like sometimes they do the campaigns like, hey, vote for St. Louis as a walkable town. And I'm like, well, you know, we're here in the Central West End and it's very walkable, but like literally the hill. I don't know if I'll say parkable because I don't even know if that's the word. I mean, you do find parking. No,
you gotta go to Barrett Park to find parking over by me.
Yeah, right by you.
You gotta. The park is a great place to park.
Oh yeah.
And then you literally get out and walk, and that's what I recommend. If you have never driven on Marconi before, don't drive on Marconi. Just don't do it. Like go park over by me and walk over. It's only 3 blocks. And then you get to see all this stuff. Like, don't even try to parallel park on Marconi. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you're a South City guy like us, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny because, like, with my car, you know, the rear view camera, like, I've gotten lazy, but I used to drive, like, I don't know, 96 Ford Taurus back when I was younger. And I used to be able to, like, park that thing. And then I've gotten so used to having the reverse cam, and it's like, you know, it's different.
Yeah, it is.
And, like, I think I was driving, like, my parents' vehicle or something, and they didn't have that. And I was like, oh man. But like when you're from South City, you just know how to park.
I can park on the left-hand side of the street, parallel park on the left-hand and the right. And you like you, I had a big hoopty, my first car. It was an Oldsmobile. And I mean, this thing is monstrous. And I could parallel park that thing anywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a boat. It was literally a boat. So
huge. Now, do you know how the hill was at that time?
Back in 1918, like I said, like it was. What was really neat about that area is the area I grew up in, Southampton. It was basically clay mines, and all the red brick from St. Louis, mainly the red brick in the nation, was produced in St. Louis and then shipped out. And all the Italians work those mines. Okay. So that's what Charlie Gioia was. He was feeding all those Italian men that were going and working in the mines. Okay. And so they would, and that's what that neighborhood, it was a working class neighborhood. It was the foundation of the neighborhood still to this day is the Catholic Church, right in the middle of St. Ambrose is the Catholic Church. It's right in the middle of the neighborhood, and it's where we all gather. It's just the priest is still a very respected, very powerful part of the community, and it's just an old school neighborhood, and somehow they held on to that, and it's never changed. And I mean, like, even me, like I feel like an outsider sometimes because I didn't grow up on the hill. I grew up in Southampton, in St. Mary Magdalene's Parish. That's how tight that community is. Of course, they embrace me. I'm the guy that makes hot salami. So.
Yeah.
But still, it's just so cool. Like, like everybody, 4 generations back, and they all know each other, and like everybody knows everybody, and like I don't know how it worked, but they kept it and they held it on even during all the flight in the 80s and 90s. It stayed strong, and I don't know why.
It's like, you knew this family's been making this for generations. That family does that. Now, the one son has a window company. So if you need a window or whatever, but
like the Frisellas. The Frisellas now, they started on the hill, and they're the service-based people. So now they have a plumbing company. They do tree service, and now they like the guys from First Form are Frisellas. That entrepreneurial spirit of the Italian culture just infuses all these neighborhoods, and now like they kind of. I mean, the Italians, they're a big part of the whole fabric of St. Louis in the business community. Yeah. So it's awesome.
Now, did you know growing up that you wanted to be at Gioia's, or was it like, all right, I'm here with my family, I'm doing this now, but when I go off to Mizzou, I'm going to pursue something else?
It's interesting you say that. Like I now it seems like a gimme, but when I grew up, owning my mom wearing a red apron. You kind of it's hard to say, but like when I got out off the hill, because everybody on the hill, it was a glorified position to operate Gioia's. But if you get off the hill and like you go to, it was almost like I felt like a second class citizen a little bit, being in the service based industry. And something when I got out of college, I was going to be a teacher, and then I student taught, and I realized very quickly I didn't want to be a teacher. I just wanted to be in charge. That's different. Those two are not the same thing. Being a teacher, you have to be empathetic and patient, and I couldn't do that as well. So when I came back, for some reason in 08, 09, I don't know, I think it's the millennial generation, the generation below us, and the internet, it became a craft. And using your hands, a barber, a barista, making sausage. For some reason, people finally realize that this is the cultural fabric of a community. Without these people, without us and our small businesses, we're just another suburb. You know what I mean? And that's for some reason in 08 it became a great thing, and like I just lucked into being born when I was, and I came back, and then I just was infused with pride in the business, and I started working with my mom.
So that was in 08 you came back?
08 was when I graduated college.
Right
when it all crapped.
In the recession.
Yeah, right. The Great Recession. I mean, I always say I remember I was like, Mom, can I pick up shifts? I can't find a job. And I always say I started the day Barack Obama started in office, because I watched his speech, his swearing in at the Deli while I was sweeping the floor watching it. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then I always say that so when he started is when I started, the same day almost. So it was like early 09, because I graduated mid-semester 08. So, and then like I just fell in love with it. Like I wasn't making any money. My mom's like, I can't afford to pay you. We're not making any money. Everybody that I feed, which is the service industry, just collapsed. All these carpenters and everything, they're all collapsed. And I was like, all right, Mom, just pay me what you can, and I'll just work for you. My wife's in law school, so I'm fine. I'm married up. So, we just got to get her through law school. And
a little bit of patience there.
Yeah. And then I just started like every hour, I always say this, every hour I gave that deli, it gave it right back to me. And the community loved it. And I loved it. I didn't care about the money. I still don't really care about the money. Like for me, it's all about the community. So, and
it's when you support the community, the money will come.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're not in it like, oh, I got to make this quick dollar, Yeah. It's more of like, how can I take care of this person right now? Because they really need help. Whether, back in 08, 2020, how can we make sure our staff's paid? Now, how about that mindset? Like before you went off to college,
Yeah.
right? You know, you're a teenager, you're working there, and then you go away. You wanted to be a teacher. You came back. How did that mentality change? Did you see it differently because you were in school? Like, did you see more from the operational,
great
teacher side? I guess not
you
teacher.
know,
Sorry,
you know what's being away from St. Louis was good for me, and I found that I would get really. There's something about being a South City kid. There's like this, like you kind of got your hands on the pulse of hard work a little bit more. It feels like. I would come do my thing at Mizzou, meet all these people that live like, you know, have horses and stuff, like this crazy world that I had no idea because I'm a South City kid, and I'd have to come back on the weekends and work the deli so I can get my recharge on. It was always my plug-in. I'd go to the deli and I'd plug in. I'd see my customers. I'd see my mom working hard. I'd work hard. I'd get off work. I'd smell like onions and pickles, and I'd be like, that was good.
Yep.
It's not nebulous. I'm making a product really good, a really great product, and I'm selling it for a little bit of profit and making someone happy. And I do that, and then I lock the door. And for some reason, that just made sense to me. So when I remember I was walking back from my car when I graduated in like 2009, and my mom finally gave me keys to the place because I had to earn the keys to lock the door because she always opened and closed the deli every day. And I remember locking it and looking back, and I'm like, I love this place. I don't want to do anything else. And I was all in from there. You know, that was about 2009 to 2010 because my wife was doing nights at law school, so I'd work late, and then it was just one of those moments, you know.
So Darren, now when you were growing up, what were some of your favorite things to do in South City? Being a South City kid.
South City kid.
This was when I was like, we have to talk about South City.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I used to. We played a bunch of corkball in the down at Booter. There's a big parking lot there. But also, you ever just like ride your bikes down alleys and look at stuff that people are throwing away?
Yeah.
Like we would do that stuff. Like my mom would be like, "Stop bringing old TVs back home and put them in my backyard." Like it doesn't. Like I'm not like, you know what I mean?
You're very
like,
crafty.
Like you're like some are diapers, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And then like we just meet up with people. And like that's what we would do, and we play sports, and we were always outside. We had this game we made up called step ball, and we'd take a tennis ball and we'd throw it. You know the stoops, you know.
Yeah.
You probably you have them now too, and you throw a ball against it, and then the other person caught it, and if you got to pass them, it was a base hit. If you got to pass them on a pop fly, it was a triple, and if it made it to the other side of the street, it was a home run. And we would literally play that 8 hours a day.
Did you guys make that game?
I guess we called it step ball. It was me and my brothers. I'm one of 3 boys.
Yeah.
And we just ran the neighborhood because my mom was always working. You know.
It sounds like this could be like a Shark Tank game or something.
You got to have a South City stoop though. That's key.
Yeah.
Because they got the long walkway with the South City stoop, and then and like, you know, you go out on the street and catch it and almost get hit by a car. You know.
And then like, stay out of the street.
Yeah, they yell. Yeah, they call you a name. And you'd be like, ah, and then they would drive away. I'm like, you're driving too fast. You know,
so back in the day, if you're watching, you know, we used to play outside.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. My little cousins, now they drive, but they were, especially around 2020, them and their friends would ride their bikes around. And it was funny because they would, like, I live, where they live? They live right down the street from Clementine's there on Macklin, and it's like they would ride their bikes over to my house, and I was like, all right, y'all, you guys got to work out. You know, this is going to be your gym class, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
But they would just take their bikes and just throw it on the front lawn. In my mind, because like where I grew up at was not the best part of South City, but like you just didn't leave your bikes out on the front lawn.
Yeah.
And where I live now, it's like good, but it was just like the difference in generations.
It's crazy.
Pockets. Like,
there's pockets. Yeah. I mean, that's what I remember. I got a cool story. So my bike got stolen when I was a kid because I left it on the front lawn. You know, this stupid thing. And I was crying because it was one of those dynos with the pegs. You know, like those are sweet when I was a kid, BMX bike. And I was crying. I go to my brother. I'm like, my bike got stolen, and he was like, give me an hour. And he just went into the neighborhood and came back with the bike, and he was all like sweaty and hot. And I was like, that was awesome. He still didn't tell me how he got it.
So hasn't told you to this day?
No, like I need to ask him. But that's like I was the youngest boy. We were Donley boys. Everybody thought that because we owned Gioias that we're connected somehow to the mafia. Like it was like, and we weren't. We were just South City kids running around. But like for some reason, like he just got that bike. I remember thinking about that. I'm like, man, I'm protected here. This is great, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was like that doesn't happen anymore. That's cool.
What if he was just riding down an alley and he found it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Or he's the one that stole it.
Yeah. And then forever, it's like, yeah, don't mess with my brother, man.
Yeah, yeah. It was just him just building up cred. Yeah, that's probably that would be. I'm sure he was one of the kids stealing the bikes, and he's like, "No, you're not allowed to steal my brothers or something." Knowing him, but no.
Like, come on, you know better.
He's a good kid. He's a good man now. So
now, 2010 and 2020.
Yeah,
a lot happened. You opened up a location downtown. Obviously, when we hit 2020, we had COVID. So let's talk about that era.
Yeah, 2010 was 2010 to 2020 was when I cut my teeth. Like I said, my mom was awesome with me. I told her recently, I said, I don't know what I would have done with me if I would hire me. Cause I was just like, I was full of ambition, know-it-allness. I thought I knew, and mom just put me in my place. And she's like, look, I don't have any money for you. You have to earn it. So I started cleaning the basement of the deli. And then I cleaned the basement of the deli. And then she's like, all right, I can afford you upstairs. We lost an employee. You can now work the line. And what she would do was like, you need to know every position. And so like till 2016, I swept the floor every night. I was the one that unlocked and locked the door. I was the one that counted the money. I did everything because I gained her trust. It took a couple years for me to gain that trust with her. And that was that old school way of running Gioia's that I really love and appreciate it. And like, that's now like when I have, I can now with employees, like I can empathize with them and be like, that's a tough job. Getting yelled at by a customer is the worst. Here's how I managed it, because I've done it my whole life. Yeah. And that's kind of that it's been infused in the culture. But basically, instead of giving me a title, she made me earn it. And I think that is huge.
Earned, not given.
Never. I've never been given anything. Everybody's like, now people are like, oh, silver spoon. And it's like, I don't think like my first job was to clean the casings of the hot salami when I was 10 years old. Like I was not given anything. Yeah. But, and like I made hot salami since I was 10. If I didn't make it, me and my brothers didn't come in after school and make that hot salami, my mom could not afford to buy groceries.
So that was after school?
After school every day from when I was old enough to see over the grinder till now. I still make hot salami. Mm-hmm. It was my job. And so when you're infused with that, I got to figure out how to do that with my kids. I think that's what it was. It was, it like dumps a bunch of dopamine in me when I have a hard day at work at Gioia's. Like I said, every hour I give it gives it right back to me because it's my own business. Mm-hmm. And I always felt that way. And mom was finally like, hey, I was making $6. I worked about 60 hours a week and I was making about $6 an hour. I wasn't making anything. Yeah. And she's like, all right, Alex, I got to pay you more. Like, I was like, it's fine. My wife's going to be an attorney. But at the same time, like, I was like, that would be nice because I can barely afford rent. And then I slowly grew up in the position. And then I got to know, and I love my customers. And that was infused in that too. My mom was so good about service and customer service and quality. And I made almost every sandwich a person that walked in the door. I was the one making their sandwich for 10 years. And then slowly, mom realized that she was kind of on the off ramp. She was I call it the legacy part of her career. Mm-hmm. She started seeing that, hey, this kid really wants this and he wants to do it and he's doing a good job. During that time, I was gifted an amazing thing called social media. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking about that earlier, like, and we just, and the sales plummeted in 2008 and they just started ticking up. And then,
and that was with Facebook?
Facebook was the first one, then Instagram, Twitter. And then I love TikTok. I like it too much. I stay away from it because if I get on it, I'm trying to get into TikTok now. I do a lot of reels on Instagram and stuff. But like, I just started like doing what you do. I go around, I talk to people, I post it online. Mm-hmm. Very organic. It became a collaborative thing, and slowly our sales just kept increasing. And then every job I did, I was like, how can I do that better? I never touched the sacred cows. Hot salami I don't touch. Roast beef I don't touch. But like the way we prep onions, maybe we could do this a little bit more efficiently. And so I started cutting costs. And then I was like, hey, let's start having better relationships with our vendors. And all this stuff that my mom was kind of done with, like she's like, I'm good. I don't want to deal with that. I'm a couple years from that. I started infusing. I started having meetings with vendors. You know, I started hiring better people. I started vetting employees. I started hiring people for their personality instead of the fact that they worked in other restaurants. You know, all this stuff, and it's just like, wow, this is all starting to work. Mm-hmm. You know, we talked about this. Like, it's cool to be able to make an impact in your job. That's a lot harder than it used to be, especially people working in an office or a Zoom in like a big organization. Like, I make a decision to do something, I see the result of that the next day.
Yeah.
And that's addicting. And I still am like that. Like, I'm curious and I just want to constantly be changing. But basically I did that. And then my wife was an attorney in the federal government supporting basically both of us. We started having kids. And she realized, whoa, I am working 70 hours a week in an office without a window, and you're roaming around St. Louis having the best time and passionate.
Yeah.
And she was like, maybe I need to look at maybe making a career change. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to start a food truck. Mm-hmm. And she's like, do you think we can afford to do that? I'm like, no, but who cares? And she's like, all right, let's do it. And she quit her job. And what's cool about her is she's brilliant. She's a genius. And she's an operations girl. She's an operations lady. She went to J school, journalism school in Mizzou. So she's got a great thing with advertisement. She's all systems and processes. And she just kind of took that food truck and she's like, I'm going to be off this food truck in 3 months. I'm going to find someone to manage it, and then I'm going to go do something else. And then she started our catering business, and then she started doing wholesale. And so that entrepreneurial spirit that me and my mom always had, she then took that and then was fearless with it. And then in 2016, it was crazy. In 2015, September 3rd, my grandmother, who was a part of the business, and my grandfather died on the same day.
Wow.
2 hours apart. And my mom came to me after the funeral and said, I can't keep holding on to this. I got to pass it to you. And she gave me the opportunity to buy it, me and Amanda. In 2016, me and Amanda took it over. And then we opened downtown in April of 2016.
Oh, wow. You're right at it.
Oh, we were ready.
Yeah.
We had it all ready to go. And then in 2017, we won the James Beard Award. I didn't win that award.
Let's dive into that, because you guys had recently, for those who don't know, I think it was 8 chefs were nominated for a James Beard Award. Or was it their semifinalists?
Yeah, semifinalists, yeah.
And you two had a video talking about the time you went to Chicago. Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a South City kid, you know what I mean? And my wife is a little bit more polished than I. When you go to law school and you do the barrister balls and you're in the federal government, you polish yourself up a little bit. She's also a South City kid too, though. But so we go there, and I'm thinking it's like a chef event. So she made me a little chef coat that says Gioia's on it, and I show up to it was a rosé party, and literally these people are wearing like the nicest clothes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap, Amanda, I don't think that this is a chef event. And then I look at they build it as the Oscars for food. Well,
but you didn't know that going into it.
No way. I didn't know it was a black tie event.
Yeah.
So like we get there and it's me, like I'm just a fish out of water. And I mean, a food guy, so like the food, you know, but these are chefs that are have 17 restaurants, or like, you know, like Emerald Grazi's there, and like these $1 million corporations, you know. And then you got me, a sandwich shop in St. Louis, and we won the American Classic Award, which is an amazing award. But my wife and my wife's like, we got to take you somewhere to get a tux. And I was like, I can't afford a tux. I'm going to wear it once. So we went to Goodwill, and we bought
on the Magnificent Mile.
Yeah, right off the Magnificent Mile. I wasn't on it. I don't think that, but right around there, and I was like, it's going to be good. And I found a tuxedo jacket. It was way too small for me, and I found some black pants, and that's what I wore to then. And what's crazy is I didn't know this, but I got pulled up. Me and my mom got pulled up on stage, and they gave us a standing ovation. For some reason, the American Classic is like the Sweetheart Award, because you know it's the award you get for just doing a good job for a lot of years, and like that's kind of the spirit of the restaurant industry, is just people, immigrant families, hardworking people just doing a good job. And I mean, we got to stay. Nobody else got to stay in ovation. We got to stay in ovation.
So of all times, you're like, which is amazing. The all times you're like, man, if only I had a bigger suit,
Yeah, yeah. I look ridiculous. And then I'm like barely buttoned. Yeah. We just had a kid, and I gained the 30 pounds from having a kid because my wife wants ice cream every night. So and then it was a great event though. It was so cool. My mom was crying. Andrew Zimmern, the guy from Bizarre Foods, put the medal over her.
That's amazing.
It was like, what?
How does
dumpster diving when I was a kid,
Yeah, like how does that work though? Because I'm not 100% sure how it works for the James Beard. Like you guys were around for decades, generations. Yeah. How does that work in regards to it's 2017 and you finally get the love and the respect?
Yeah. Well, that's great. And what's cool is how it's found out. So basically the food writers in St. Louis nominate people. Mm-hmm. So like I was up, Crown Candy was up, and then for some reason they decided to choose me that time. And I know Crown's going to get it one of these times, but and I'm like, how did we get this? And like, it just was completely overwhelming. And like my whole thing was all the media. It was like literally 50 interviews when they announced, like it was all set up. And I just kept repeating the same thing. This isn't my award. This is Kathy, my mom's award. This is Charlie Joy's award. This is Stephen John's award. I am standing on the shoulder of giants. And that still rings true today. Like all I'm doing is trading off the goodwill of the generations before me. That's what I'm just preserving the castle. So, and that's really what it is. It was overwhelming. I mean, my mom, it was her life's work. Mm-hmm. And then she gets a medal for it and a standing ovation from the best people in our industry nationwide. That's a perfect end to a career, right?
Yeah.
And a pretty great beginning to my career too. So yeah,
it's like literally like Simo, 1 year in.
Yeah, I did this. No, it wasn't me. That definitely wasn't me. She looked great too. She got the dress code memo. I was the only one with the small suit.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering though, like with like what you said with like local food critics nominating different restaurants.
Yeah.
I wonder when the time. It's not a matter of if. It's more of the matter of when. We're going to see like the food vloggers, not saying that I'm even thinking about it, but then they nominate people for whatever YouTube's foodie con or something. I don't know.
I just read a thing and you know this already probably, but more people watched Mr. Beast than all of the content on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's not even a when, it's like, it's just a matter of time.
Yep.
Like you guys are the future of our industry. You're the future of media. I mean, like what did the Oscars represented a little, like the elephant is TikTok, is Instagram, and like the Oscars is a little tick on, you know what I mean? Like it's silly that needs to shift, and I think it already is, and it's just a matter of time before somebody like you comes in and does that, and then I can't wait. Because you got your hand on the pulse, you're the one I want to be nominating people. So
be like, hey, for the 10th year in a row. No,
no.
Well, it's like it's been fun lately. I've gone on a deli tour, so intentionally going to all the delis. Because like for me, I don't want to say something is the best, but it's like for me, like this is my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like I'll even hit up. Sorry, I hear a noise. You hear
a little
hovering.
Cricket.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. Sorry. Probably picked up on the mic. I'll delete it. But sometimes I'll talk to Epic Eats, and like recently I said Saucy Porca had my favorite, the best French fries in St. Louis, and I had to hit him up like, hey man, I go through the process of elimination. I'm like, look, I want to make sure you had the same experience. The fries were perfect. They were seasoned. Everything on there was fresh. Did you have the same thing? And then I would consult with a few other people. And then I'm like, all right, like I just want to make sure we're all having.
Yeah, you're doing the work.
And then I'm like, all right, this is the best.
Yeah, but that's crazy. I never do that. Like best is a hard word for me, because I have best days and I have bad days, and like I agree with you. Like I think that like when people St. Louis is all about the delis, the sandwiches, best in town, and for me, like, I don't want to ever do disservice. Like, okay, Adriana's 2 blocks from me. Mm-hmm. I love Adriana's. What people don't realize is they think we're competing, but Adriana, one time a person was trying to break into Gioia's, and Adriana's the one that ran him off.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
community.
We're not competing. Vince down in Blue City Deli. Okay, this dude is amazing, and they put out a great product. They work hard. They support a bunch of families. How am I gonna compete against that dude? Like, you know what? And then when COVID happened, the week of COVID happened, I'm standing outside the deli just having my usual panic attack during COVID, and he drives by and stops because he was living on the hill at the time. Gets out and just is like, "Hey, you doing all right?" He's asking me how I'm doing when I know he's not doing great either. Yeah. Like, we're not competition. You know who we're competing against? We're competing against the companies that all the money's leaving St. Louis. You know, these corporation food places that have it down to a science, and they know exactly what they are, and they have the Google marketing budget. Those are who we're competing against. We're all in it together.
Well, and it's like, if you're in a sponsor, you know, you sponsor your son's team. I believe I've seen him with the jersey.
The hot salami.
Yeah, hot salami. Yeah. But it's like, imagine reaching out to one of those chains and you'll never hear from them. But it's like, you guys are, you know, getting the support of the community. You're investing back in the community. And it's, but yeah, I'm with you. Like, I very seldom call something the best. And even like when I do.
And I think that's your job. I think I trust you to give me the best. And then I'll make my own recommendation. But that's your job. And I like that. I think that's what you should be doing. But for me, like, I stay away from it because, like, of course I have the best hot salami in St. Louis. That's what I do. Yep. But my meatball's not the best meatball in St. Louis. I like it, and it's good. But, you know, we could have that. You know, but so, you know what I mean?
Debates,
like, you know, there's debates. You know, so that's like that's what I mean by that. Like, I look to you for recommendations, and I as a fan, you know what I mean? And that's for you. That's a big undertaking to say best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? And like you said, you put in the work, and I trust you to do that. So I
appreciate that.
And I know your fans do too, because I asked around about you before getting on this.
No, man. I tell people too, I'm very South City. I'm very St. Louis. Yeah. I've been working to get outside of 270, you know, get out there. But like, even recently, man, Vivola, out there in Creve Coeur. Yeah. Man, people were like, you got to go there. You got to go there. Yeah. I had enough people, and I was out there for work, and I tried it, and they're like, oh yeah, you're the one, man. He's like, everyone keeps telling us this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He hasn't been out. He's like, but I told him, like, you're probably just a normal person going to different delis. And I was like, that's exactly it. Like, I don't.
You know how far away Maryland Heights is from South City?
Thank you.
Yeah. You're not. Yeah. That's like, don't listen to them. You know, it's not. That's the point of the neighborhood deli. It's the neighborhood you live in.
God, that was, man. That marinara.
Yeah, Brazil's is good.
I started drinking that. Like,
yeah, they're good.
They have good meatball.
They're legit.
So yeah, but I think it's gonna be interesting. So I did put the challenge out. I'm like, you know, if I'm gonna go to, my goal is to go to like all the delis in the St. Louis area, which St. Louis is a deli town.
Oh yeah, big time.
To put out like my favorite sandwiches.
That'd be cool.
And so that's gonna be tough. But it's like Braden's favorite, and I can't just say, oh, this is the favorite and that's it. But it's like, I have to emphasize a little bit more. But like, the thing with like what I do is, man, I have to get your attention. First 2 seconds, I got to get your attention. Then I got to retain your attention. Yeah. And so like, it's just different.
Love that, dude. You said it perfectly, and the fact that you have the chutzpah and the gumption to do that, like, that's a bold. I mean, I remember when I was like people be like, Mom's Deli, no, LeGrand's, no, them are fighting words. It's like, that's how passionate people are. Like, it's crazy. You go south of Chippewa and it's the Mom's Deli, or no, it's the LeGrand's people, and then you know, and then the hill is a whole nother. Back in the day when it was us, Amagetti's and Adriana's, and we were all. Everybody's all yelling at each other online about it's like, and all we're doing is just trying to do a good job.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hey,
you know,
how's everything going? How's the beef prices for you? It's me too, man. Don't you wish we did? You know, it's crazy how different it really is for us than it is for the people online just being crazy. But I mean, that's great. Like, I want people just talking, as long as you're talking about the local places.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's it's like. When I go to these places, I'm like, what's your top seller? And then whoever is there at the register, like, or taking the order, what's your personal favorite?
That's good.
And so then I'm going to go down.
That's really good.
A process of elimination.
That's good.
I have another like 10 I think I got to visit. And I'm going to try to go out. I had someone say I need to go out to a place in Alton. So I'm going to do that. A place in St. Charles.
Which is the place in Alton, real quick?
Sammy's? Does that sound like a place?
Yeah, it does. I like Alton. I think it's a
Gotcha.
great little town, but
Good staycation.
I try to, I'll visit this if there's a sandwich shop, I'll try to find it. Okay. So I'll have to figure that out, but someone was telling me about a sandwich shop out there. It's probably the same one.
Yeah. So I'm going to narrow it down to 10, and then I'm going to go to these places again. And I don't know if I'll try the same sandwich, but maybe a different one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, until I go to every single restaurant in St. Louis, which is impossible, or every single deli, and try every single thing on their menu, I can't just say like the clickbait best. I'll have to be like, hey, these are my favorite. This is why. And you got to give, how was it? I think it was in October. No, it was in November. I was down at Four Seasons Orlando. They have this rooftop restaurant called Kappa. It's a Michelin star.
Wow.
And I was like, what? How do you get that? And they're like, well, someone came here. We didn't know who they were. They came about 3 times. And then they said, okay, each time the service was this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
And I know the service at all these delis are always going to be great, which is amazing because I just know that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I want to dive into more of the different sandwiches.
Yeah, I get it.
And compare them. It's fun. And even yesterday I was talking to 6th graders and I'm like, how many of you guys like spaghetti? Everybody raised their hand. I'm like, well, encourage your parents to go to different restaurants this summer, go there for the spaghetti, but then also grab something else.
Yeah. That's cool.
Give them, okay, this, but also explore.
Yeah. That's it, and that's I think it's natural for people like us to do that, to explore. But you're right. People get in their same routine. Mm-hmm. This is where I go on Wednesday night. Yep. And it's like, get out there and try new stuff, and that's where the awareness. The reason why Gioia is doing so well is because of people like you. Now you have a platform. You go into Gioia's, you take a bite of a sandwich, you post it, and you're like, this place was awesome. And that's it. That's why in 2008, during the worst economic recession since the Great Depression, did we start seeing an uptick. Mm-hmm. Because now it's not only that we're good, because we've always been good, people now have a platform to talk about it. That's it.
We've been able to we kind of talked about it a little bit. I was working on my MBA the whole time I was working on Brad and STL, and I saw this opportunity for us to build a creator economy, a creator community too, here in St. Louis. And it's before, to be featured, you may have had to pay $500 to be in a publication or something. Yeah. But now we're at the point where we're leveling the playing field. Mm-hmm. So those underdogs that never got the love, we're able to give them the love, shine light on them. Yeah. And it's just a different time. And you and your wife, you guys have put your face out there on social media. Yeah. And so I know some people are, hey, what's your social media strategy? And you're like, look, I'm a normal guy. I think this is what should be said. Yeah. But do you have a strategy, or are you just you know what, I'm Alex, Mardi Gras. By the time this come out, Mardi Gras would have passed, but Mardi Gras is coming up.
Yeah. And let's talk about the base. You need a food base. So I've tried, like I said, I'm curious and I like systems and I like processes. I've tried to make it systemized where I post a sandwich every Wednesday. And now I just realize viewers, your followers are so good at authenticity. Mm-hmm. They understand it and they see it. They see through the BS really quickly. And whenever I'm BSing it, it's obvious. So I'm like, all right, Amanda, we're done with that. No more polished, perfect pictures. There's people that do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about whatever I need to talk about because I want to talk about it. And oops, my daughter's in the background on one, whatever. That's me. I'm a human being. Mm-hmm. They want to just see hey, this is a real person running, because we're kind of in that point where we have 4 locations now. We're not a chain, we're family owned. I'm touching every store every day, but I need to make sure that they know that this money's staying in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Yes, I am serving. I sell about 2,000 sandwiches a day, but I pay my employees well above industry standard. We have 401k, we have health insurance. We are a good company. So not only do I want you to come in because you like hot salami, but I want you to understand that we are like a Ted Drews and a Cyber Group. That money is staying here. Mm. The CEO of this company is a dude that's taking his kids to work or to school and then going to Caldi's and getting a coffee or wherever. All that money is staying right here. Yep. And that's kind of what I do. And I want to promote people that are doing a good job. That's it. Pizza de Gloria is a perfect example. It's a new place on the hill. I think have you been there?
I have not.
It's pretty great. And so he just texted me and was like, hey man, I'm trying to start a new place. You mind meeting getting coffee? We got coffee. He opened it. It's awesome. It's amazing. I'm going to promote him because he's just trying to do a good job. So, and I have a platform to do so. So why not? Why not?
Not that we're trying to just read them, but like when you see like their heart's in the right place, you know, it's not like, hey, I'm from outside of town, I'm going to open this up, and a month from now I'm going to be opening up another one. But it's like, wait, you haven't even touched the community.
Yeah.
Like when we see good people, we're like, hey, whatever you need, like, do you need me to get some more creators in here to hype up your business? Oh yeah, that would be great. And so, like, I don't know, I think that's the South City in us. It's just like being ourselves. And also like, okay, you seem like good people. Like, you're
good people.
We got
That's
you.
Like, and I want to prove myself. Like Valley Park's a perfect example. We were like, what's your marketing plan for Valley Park?
Oh yeah, I meant to bring that one up.
Well, first off, you open next to a Starbucks, and every single person walks by your place, and hey, Gioia's is out coming out here. But really, all we did was like, guys, we're the neighborhood deli. So when that person comes in and wants you to support their flag football team, you support their flag football team. Like, we're the neighborhood place. As long as we're a profitable, good company, let's make sure that our priority, we're not paying for advertising. What we're doing is we're giving free sandwiches to the who was it? I forget what team we just fed I think it was I'm a South City kid, so I don't know any high schools. But one of the schools out in Fenton, I fed their booster club because it's like, you need food. Like, here's some food. Like, and that's what neighborhood delis do, and that's what the big guys won't understand, and that's will always be my competitive advantage. Blue City Deli's competitive advantage, Adriana's, all those places, of Evola's, like, they're supporting the community. You know what I mean? And that's it.
It's interesting because like some places will see the numbers. Oh, that's $200. We just can't do that. But it's like, there's those families are supporting us.
Yeah,
we're going to support them, and just in the long run, the whole concept of community.
Yeah,
they're going to think high. It's just St. Louis community, right? Like that's a big thing.
That's what we do. And I was listening to a podcast about a guy that he said he's been to Rwanda, he's been to all over this place, and he's worked. He was a professor. And he said the hardest place for me, the place I had to prove myself the most was when I moved to South City, St. Louis. And I was like, interesting. He goes, because character is so important, and we're innate in it. Like, if you're not a good human being, like, we got enough problems in this city.
Yep.
I don't need another person from outside the city coming in and telling us how we should do things. And that was interesting because we're just innate. We know good people, and we know how to deal through the fog of all the crap.
Yeah.
It's like, good human being, good. Here's a great sandwich. Boom, done. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm going to dive into 2020 real quick.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
You had a pivot, and then is that when you started pizza?
Yeah. So 2020 happened March. Downtown was kicking butt. That was our first location. At the time, we had downtown Creve Coeur in the original. Downtown lease was up in March. We went from seeing 300 people in March 15th or whatever. By March 18th, we were down to seeing 7 people a day. Lockdown happened. Can't sign a lease when you're seeing 7 people a day. We pulled it back, took those employees, put them on the Hill because they were great employees. Hill is still rocking and rolling. But our commissary, we have a commissary team that makes all the product. When you go from 3 stores to 2, there's a lot of time in that production schedule. These people also need to pay their bills, these managers. So what I said was like, guys, what do you want to make pizzas? So my commissary team started making pizzas. My mom came in and helped with them. We started making pizzas, and we started selling them online. You bought one online, we'd take it to your car and put it in your trunk. Okay? We would literally like wrap them in plastic, saran wrap, and they were great. And then slowly they kind of took off. And then all of a sudden, Schnucks is calling me and saying, hey, we're looking for local products. Would you be interested in creating a frozen pizza line? And I was like, oh.
That was out of the kitchen It
was Gioia's. It was an 8-foot table we were working out of. And their first purchase order was 40,000 pizzas. So I had to figure out quick. So Long story short, we created a pizza company. It was great. While it was great, we have since moved away from that because, you know, that industry, I call it B2B, business to business industry, where you're selling directly to schnooks. It's just not the industry I'm aware of, and I just, the margins were so thin, and I didn't want to raise my prices, and it was basically to the point where I had to kind of kill the pizzas. But it supported us through COVID. Yeah. Like, it literally, we opened up our Maryland Heights plant, which makes all of our product off the money that we made on those pizzas. You know what I mean? I just reinvested it back into the deli.
It was like a really good pivot. I feel like it was either make bread or make pizza, and I think like 3 times a week I was having pizza.
Yeah,
during 2020.
Right. Yeah, and that was it. And people felt safe getting them, and what's cool is we were able to deliver them straight. We had online ordering, so we were doing curbside. So we literally buy a pizza, we're running out to your car, and then you can go home and bake it. You know what I mean? And we just did it like spicy daggett pizza, porknado pizza. It's all of our sandwiches. We just put them on a pizza. You know, so it was really easy for us to do. So it's cool.
So now you have 4 locations. Yeah. My buddy David, he's probably listening. He told me to ask you about Springfield, Missouri. I was like, I don't know. But
Springfield, Missouri. Wow, that's a new one for me. I like that. That's 3.5 hours. I lived in Springfield for a little bit.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah, I love Springfield. It's a booming town. Might be a little too far for me to get to every day. So the problem is the hot salami. I got to get it there.
Yeah.
And I make it myself, and I always will. That's one of our rules. And also bread. So what was his name? What was the guy's name?
David.
So if David's got a good bread person up there, let me know. Because that's bread and hot salami. I can probably get the hot salami there, but bread's a big one.
And then, if anything, if you needed, like, Emos goes down there, so you just be like, hey,
just throw some on their truck.
Yeah. Hey, here you go, an extra $10 and some salami.
Throw some 10 over to Ed Emo. Yeah, there you go. That'd be good. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I love Columbia, Missouri. I love Kansas City, Missouri. Like, I love all those areas. I'm not ready. We grow when we can, and we only can grow with the people we have. And right now, my managers are chomping at the bit for growth. I have like this awesome team. I have this director of ops. His name's David. He's actually my father-in-law. He's a dynamo. He's like, at the end of his career, he was in travel, and then COVID happened, and the travel industry collapsed. And he's like 5 years from retirement. And I was like, Dave, you want to help me get through COVID? And now he's just kind of just infused our business with the structure and the culture we need for growth. And so it's time to grow. It's just me and Amanda making the decision. Because I have a couple rules. I pick my kids up from school every day. My dad never could do that. My mom could never do that because they were working. I pick my kids up from school every day. And I cannot open a Gioia's where I have to be there during the time I need to pick up my school. And so I need good people that can do that for me. Run that place so I can pick up my kids from school. And I won't grow unless I have that.
People's everything.
People's everything. And I have a great leadership team. It's just convincing them we need to go out to St. Charles County. St. Charles County needs a Gioia's real bad. Like every time I post, we're St. Charles County.
Charles.
And so but I just got to convince some of my leadership team to make the drive out there, you know, because it's all about the people. It's all about the people.
Now, the future of Gioia's, or just in life in general, what are some of your hopes, dreams, aspirations as you look out in the future?
I'm a big believer in legacy. I hope that my children are infused with the entrepreneurial spirit that has given my family so much respect in this community and also given us a great life. I hope that I can figure out a way to infuse my children with that. So my legacy of either Gioia's or another business, like I would be so proud if one of my kids did something like you. The media landscape is there's so many opportunities out there for that. They're pretty young, 10, 8, 7, and 5, so they're really young. But that legacy is huge. I want to just be a servant to my community always, and I want to be when I die, I want a bunch of people at my funeral saying good things, not bad things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's very important to me. And I just, it'd be nice to have a piece of land and where I can watch the sunset with my high school sweetheart when I get older, and have like 15 dogs. Because I love dogs.
Let them run around. You can't do that in the city.
No, I got a black lab now, and oh man, it's the best dog I ever had. And now I'm like, man, what if I get another one? But then it gets out of hand when you start collecting dogs, and I'm not there yet. So that's really it. That's it. And then just do a good job. To be a good servant to my business, and not screw it up. Because my mom didn't screw it up. The 4 generations before didn't screw it up. I just can't screw it up. You know? So that's my hopes and dreams, really.
Now, Before I let you go, there are a few questions I like to ask every guest. 3 dinner guests that can join you. Good. Words of wisdom, and if you're up for it, we could get into Foodie Friday.
Oh yeah, I'm in for the Foodie Friday.
Okay.
So 3 dinner guests. My dad passed away when I was 27 years old. He did not run Gioia's. He did help my mom purchase and operate Gioia's, but that was my mom's baby. My dad they were divorced, but my dad was an entrepreneurial guy. He owned by the time he passed away, he had 6 businesses. Both of my brothers operate businesses that started from his. They all are doing totally different things. I want to sit down and talk to him. I want to thank him for what he did for me. He was not around a lot. I think someone asked me how many times he put me to bed, and I think it was 5 times in my life. The reason I take that so seriously is because I didn't have that. I really want him. I'd like to have Charlie Gioia there, the original owner of Gioia's there. Yep. Just like you said, I don't really know what the hill was like in 1918, but I'd like to find out and what he would think of me, and how I'm doing. So Charlie Gioia, my dad, and then that would be a great. I mean, I'd be too busy talking to those 2 guys to have somebody else. It's weird, but I'm a history guy, and I love Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. I think that he is the perfect man for him, or Abraham Lincoln. If a guy like that came on the scene right now, I think he'd solve a lot of issues that we're having right now in this country. Yeah. Just to have a guy like that, the fortitude to hold it in, hold industry accountable and to unify a nation. I would really like to, just the men of character. I'd like to have a great man like that there too, to ask questions to.
Just listen and try to bring people together.
Yeah. Teddy Roosevelt, they said, was just a complete optimist, and he was magnetic, and I just want to, he created the national park system, mm-hmm. and he's a kid from the city, Manhattan City. It's just so cool.
How does that happen?
You know what I mean? Granted, he's a Roosevelt,
right?
He's got all the money, but still, I don't know. I just admire great men, great women. Mm-hmm. So those are my 3. I don't know. We probably just eat hot salamis. Yeah, I just want to see if Charlie thinks it's good. And then my dad just loved hot salami, American cheese on white. I still know his sandwich order.
How many customers do you know, or let's say guests, more guests than customers, right? How many orders do you know, when Susan walks in, you know exactly, all right, get the regular, all right.
I got to the point, yes, all of them. I don't know your name, but I'll know what you got on your sandwich. I know that you got a hot salami classic probably, but I got, I bet I know. I got to the point where I would know what they were going to order before they even came in, even if I didn't know them. That's how crazy.
By the way they look, kind of
how they walked, how hungover they were, how stressed they were, how they, if they were on a date, I remember I had a buddy come in with his girlfriend, and he's like, hey, I'm bringing her in, and I just wanted to make sure that she, and she came in, she ordered a turkey on white. And then we did it, whatever. And then I was like, she's not going to work out, man. And then his next girlfriend came in, and she got a trio with extra mortadella and, all this stuff. And I was like, you're going to marry her. They're married. I'm like, it's weird.
Crazy.
It's a weird thing. But that's I just know what people get. I know. That was a turkey on white, no cheese lady. And turkey on white, no cheese. I'm like, I wouldn't get that at Gioia's, but it's good. It's everybody that's a no-brainer for me. It's not as much anymore because I'm not on the line as much. I wish I was, but I can't be in 4 places at once. But man, I love that about Gioia's is that people's standard orders. You get the usual. No, I'm going to try something different. I'm like, you're going to try the blah, blah, blah? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I knew you were going to try that.
You're probably like, what's going on? Oh, it's been a,
Are you doing okay?
Yeah. You're checking
Did you just go to the heart doctor? Is that why you're getting that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's just the beautiful thing about, obviously Gioia's, but just delis in St. Louis. I like to whenever I talk to people about it, it's just different. The people there are different. Yeah. And it's I don't know how else to describe it.
I don't either. It's it's a church, man. It's I had customers, these 2 guys. They came in every day right at 9 a.m. We used to open at 9, and I'd make their food, and then they would just it was their time together. They're best friends. Mm-hmm. and I have it ready for them, they'd sit, and this is really sad, but like I made their sandwich, and only one of them showed up, and the other one passed away, because they were older guys, and he took it to the grave, the sandwich. Like,
yeah,
like that's a legacy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had another person that went and was with his little bitty TV on the wall, and we only turned it on for Cardinals games. And one day he was in there and he was sitting by himself watching the Cardinals game. And I was like, hey man, where's your dad? He's like, he died. And he came to Gioia's and watched the Cardinals game and got a hot salami on wheat with American cheese, and they split it. Every time they were there, they came during a Cardinals game and watched the Cardinals game on that little TV, and I would close up and let him stay. Mm-hmm. And he did that, and like I just sat and watched it with him. Like that's my, like I get paid to do that. Like that's amazing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like that you can't. You're not doing that. You're not doing that at Subway.
Right. Yeah. Like if you're just worried about just numbers instead of actually people, then you're shut. Hey, we're closed down, but you're like sitting there. I mean, that's just an amazing story.
I got 1 million of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's constant. It's lovely. It's how can I? And that's my thing. How do I infuse that in my employees or my team members, and they kind of have to do that as well. And my job is to give them the latitude to do that. I think every single person wants to do a good job at something. I want to make sure I told my employees they have a budget to make a customer happy. You know what I mean? And like, remember their names. That's in our training. Remember their order. This is important. Like we are a community. We need to act as such. And our crisis is with online ordering, we don't get to interact as much. Mm-hmm. But still, like we can still, when they walk in the door, hey, Tom, got your online order right here. Thanks, man. We didn't forget your soda this time, because we always forget sodas in online orders. Yeah. And it's like, we get 30-second opportunity to make their day better. Let's knock it out of the park.
Because you're literally so many people's like highlight of the day, or the thing they've been waiting months for, or they traveled into St. Louis for before a game.
Yeah,
and
totally.
You're part of that memory.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. And like we got to take that seriously. That's our job. So
now, words of wisdom.
Oh, words of wisdom. This is easy for me. I had a life-changing word of wisdom. I went to go. There's this deli called Zingerman's, and it's in Michigan. And I went. He wrote a book on customer service, so I went and saw him because it impacted me so much. And I said, can you give me an hour of your time? And he told me, think about yourself 5 years from now, but don't think about what overview, but think write with your hand on a piece of paper, not with this, but on a piece of paper, what your perfect day is like. Okay. So I did. Me and my wife did it together, and I wrote my perfect day, and she wrote her perfect day. And in that perfect day, I woke up, and I didn't have to be at work. I wanted to be at work. So there was the one thing. I went and got a coffee, and everybody in the coffee shop I knew, and was happy to see me. Okay. Then I went into my business, and they were happy to see me. I picked my kids up from school, and they're healthy, they're engaged, and they're good kids, and all these things. And then we sat down and we looked at it, and we like, how do I do this? So for example, me not having to be at work. That means if I'm not having to be there, that means I have good people running my shops. Okay. When I walk into the deli and my employees aren't scared of me, but they're happy to see me. Well, that means I got a good culture. Well, how do you get a good culture? You hire good people. You have good systems and processes. So have a vision, write down your perfect day, and then back it up. And then what we did was, me and my wife went on a retreat, and we call it the blueprint. And we wrote, how do we get there? And we back it all the way up to today. And then it's like, have better training manuals. It's like, make sure our managers know how to open and close the store just like me. And that literally, you back it up. And we created, like, now we have these things called Deli success reports. Our managers are judged on it because it's how I would have ran Gioia's. Yeah. And it's as simple as like light bulbs being out. If there's a light bulb out, I would not tolerate that. So you shouldn't tolerate that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I'm not walking to Gioia's and you don't greet me at the door with a, hey, welcome to Gioia's, in a warm, friendly way, then you're not doing your job right. And so you see what I mean? So it's like, that's it. You have a vision and go, and then start working towards the vision. And then every year, prioritize a time to set aside time to recheck the vision and change it if necessary. Because my vision from 2015 is not my vision now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In 2020, you like really like forced, like you had to rethink
I had to rethink everything.
Like people are
my
different.
vision was to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now I'm back to where I can rebuild and get back to that, having a coffee and my employees liking me again.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So that's it. We're thriving again. We're not surviving, you know? So that's it. That's my words of wisdom, you know? Simple as that. Have a vision and make sure everybody knows your vision.
Amazing. Because I think it's Bob Iger. I started watching some of these classes by industry. Like people have done
love that.
successful things. And it's like I've read Bob Iger's book before. And, you know, he talked about like, your leadership is only as good as you can articulate it.
Wow.
And I was like, dang,
that's good.
Bars, right? Disney bars.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, that's well said. I like that.
Now, Foodie Friday.
Yeah.
This is going to be as hot as the salami, right? There's going to be some hot takes.
Yeah.
But let's just say, what are your favorite places? Or not maybe not favorite places, just in case. But
places that are on my radar right now.
Yeah, or radar. Actually, I'll let you answer however you like.
Man, I got you.
About 4 or 5 places.
4 or 5 places, got you. Well, I'm going to get you outside of 270. You might have already been there. I think I've seen maybe. Have you been to Malinche yet?
I've not. No.
Okay, Malinche, it's right. It's in the Chuck E. Cheese parking lot in like Ellisville or something.
Okay.
All right, it's bonkers.
Okay.
Bonkers good.
What are you ordering?
What is that?
What are you ordering?
The whole menu. I sat down with my wife and my director of ops, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, and I said the whole menu, and she's like, awesome. It's all small Mexican plates. It's hair. It'll blow your hair back. Go there. Right. I just went to Wright's Tavern last night for our basically that's what we did. Whenever you're in the industry, you do Valentine's Day, not on Valentine's Day. You do it the week before or 3 weeks after. And I mean, Wright's Tavern blew me away. Like like the attention to detail from everything. I was just blown away by that. So I got to give them a shout out because they just hit a home run there. And it was perfect. Another place I love downtown Webster. I don't know if you ever go down to downtown Webster.
Is that like Balkan Tree Box area?
Yeah, but that's a little. So there's like O&O, Olive and Oak, O&O Pizza. There's a couple new places, but like O&O Pizza. Clover and the Bee. Okay. So Olive and Oak. So you've been to Trattoria Marcella, right?
I've not.
Oh,
I need to get out of the city a little bit more.
The Trattoria Marcella's in the city. It's on Watson. Trattoria Marcella. Okay, that one's on Watson. It's right by Pietro's. That's probably my favorite Italian off the hill. But that head chef went to O&O Pizza and he infused the South City like amazingness of South City into this restaurant in the middle of Webster. It's called Olive and Oak Pizza, and it is just a home run. His name's Mike Risk. He's a big restaurant guy. Home run for sure. That place is great. I mean, I love the Cyberx group, like the Twisted Tree. It's like my favorite place to take. Like they got a kids menu, and Tyler Layton, the guy that is part owner with them, he comes out. I love the kid. I love the guy. I mean, I went to high school with him, and I think he's one of the most talented chefs in St. Louis. So that's a great one. Let me think what else I got. Obviously, I love Balkan, and I will always support Lauren and Edo. They do a great job. But there's another place on Concord like them. It's a little different. It's called J. Pizzerias.
Oh, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
that's great too. I love Bosnian food in St. Louis is just amazing.
Herbs and spices. It takes you to like another.
Oh yeah,
galaxy.
I mean and then there's this Chinese food place on Olive called Kate Zone, Catezone.
Okay,
it's on Olive. It's mind blowing. Go there. They don't speak the best English, but they have pictures on their menu. Just point, and it's like bonkers stuff, like awesome food. And just go there, get whatever, get anything that looks good. I mean, if it's your first time, get the crispy pork because it's sweet and sour crispy pork. You can't go wrong there. So, I mean, yeah, those are my places right now. Yeah.
Well,
shoot, if I got any, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but those are my places right now. So
like for right now, I mean, it could change 6 months from now.
Yeah, it could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
well, Alex, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you do for the community. And before I let you go, I appreciate that you brought back flavorful chips to St.
Yeah,
Louis.
boy.
The wrap snacks, we got a bunch.
The Snoop Dogs are our best seller. Snoop Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the best sellers we got. Yeah.
It used to be the Master P flavor, and then I think that was Lil Romeo or Romeo.
Yeah, Lil Romeo.
But,
we sell the crap out of those. Oh, yeah.
So thank you for everything, and
you're welcome.
You added flavorful chips back into the delis.
Hey,
not to knock any of the other chips. I mean, obviously you love Riplets, but like wrap snacks,
they're the real deal.
Yeah.
Oh man, you put some of those on a hot salami sandwich, you crush it. Oh yeah, I'm with you. I get it. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Red Hot Riplet guy, but when I'm not feeling that those are my chips. So
awesome. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, man. This is great. Thank
Seriously,
you.
yeah.